I got my first guest here, chef guest, and it's Peggy Lucera. And what we made is I made the dough and she put the toppings on it. Let's do it. We start with an autolyse. That means we just combine flour and water and let it sit for 20 minutes to an hour, 2 hours. 375 grams of water, 500 grams of flour, and we mix until it just comes together. Until it looks about like that, I like to scrape down the sides because it might dry out. And now this sits on the counter for about, I don't know, 20 minutes, half an hour, or an hour, depending on what I'm going to do next. All right, that ended up being a pretty long autolyse, and it's sort of interesting. The dough is already really, really stretchy. I think it was about 2 hours. I got a little distracted. 100 grams of starter, 10 grams of salt, and 25 grams of olive oil. And we mix. And after a couple minutes of mixing, it goes into a container. This is going to be on the counter for about 2 hours, and I'll do stretch and folds after a half an hour, and then another half hour. And then you know me, it goes in the fridge for 3 days. Into the pan goes olive oil, extra virgin. I'm going to spread that all around. In goes the dough, straight out of the fridge. Spread it out. It's not very warm in Ojai today, so I'm going to put it on my warming pan and, of course, cover it and let it sit out for 4 hours.
We're going to be, as Chris said, making focaccia. I see he's got lots of good oil in here, and you've stretched this and folded it and everything. That's wonderful. We're going to put a little bit more olive oil on top. We want this to be really nice and crispy, and the olive oil is going to ensure that it crisps really nicely in the oven. And the nice thing about this is you get to play with it. It's kind of like Play-Doh. And this is going to be absolutely delicious, I'm sure. Although it is an experiment. We haven't done this before. I haven't done this in a really long time, and I've never done it with this wonderful sourdough dough of Chris's.
So why are you pressing it down on the sides?
I'm trying to get oil around the edges because
okay.
I'm not trying to press it down, but I'm just trying to make sure that every surface, every bit of the dough is covered with some olive oil.
Okay.
Okay, and then we're gonna make some indentations in it, and we can probably. I think I'd like to start with the cheese. We have this wonderful. It's an Asiago I found that has rosemary and olive oil in it, and it's absolutely delicious. I don't know that we're going to use all of this. What do you think, Chris?
It's your focaccia.
Oh.
Oh, there's a piece. Yeah, it is really good. That cheese is so good.
Isn't it good? Yeah, I think it's going to be really yummy. Okay, so we'll use quite a bit of it since it's getting, and the bread is going to rise, and I'm trying to imagine that we're eating this later and maybe lamenting that we have a little piece of the focaccia that doesn't have any cheese on it. So filling in all the little holes here. All right, and then you actually push, the toppings into the dough, and it's just so much fun. It's like finger painting. And then we've got some lovely red onions. You want to help with any of this, Chris? Or you just
No, I think you're pretty good. You're doing a pretty good job.
Watching. I think we'll be a little bit careful with the onions because I actually didn't taste these. And you know how sometimes red onion can have too much of a bite. And we're also going to use some bitter arugula and some cherry tomatoes, which will brighten it up a little bit, both visually and gustatorily.
Oh, what a word.
Okay, well, had a lot of graduate courses in sensory perception, so that's what you're getting here. I think I'll put these last. Now we'll sprinkle in some arugula. It's going to be just beautiful. And how bad can it be with these ingredients?
Oh, man.
Probably going to be absolutely delicious. I'm going to kind of want to alternate colors a little bit, just because.
So you already put oil on those.
A little bit.
A
I
little
put
bit of
a
oil.
little bit of olive oil on all of the vegetables,
Oh,
just
okay.
a little bit, and tossed them before I put them in here. Just so everything, I want the onions to caramelize a little bit. And I think it's oven ready. What do you think, Chris?
Well, what about, you have two more things,
Oh
three more
my God,
things.
seasonings. Thank you so much. Yeah, we're going to put a little bit of pink Himalayan sea salt on it because it's the only salt I use, and simply because it comes from the Himalaya mountain range, which hasn't seen a sea in 5,000 years, so there's very little chance of impurities like plastics or industrial waste. It's just a little bit of garlic salt. We could have put some olive oiled crushed garlic cloves on here. That would have been nice. A nice addition, maybe next time.
Well, the thing with focaccia is you can just make millions of different iterations, or you have to press the top.
Oh, and I got it all full of schmutz.
Oh,
I'm going to
okay.
let you do that.
I just got this. It's my favorite toy.
It's very, very cute.
Am I doing too much?
No. I think this would be, although I don't have kids, I think this would be a fun dish to do with kids and let them put all different kinds of ingredients on it. And I'm going to just put a little bit more olive oil on top, and I think it's ready to go.
Okay.
Thanks for watching.
Goes in the oven at 450, and we'll see, 30 minutes?
Yeah, we'll look at it.
Oh my God, it just came out of the oven, and it is bubbly, and it looks so, so good.
And it smells good. And it's the special Asiago cheese with rosemary and olive oil that I've been just loving plain, and I just thought it would be so good on your dough because I love his bread. I don't usually eat bread. It's one of my favorite things in the world. But Chris's sourdough dough, it digests really well. I don't get the effects of, the adverse effects that I get from regular bread when I eat.
Yeah, well, it's the long fermentation. This dough was in the fridge for actually 4 days. So let's see. Oh my God.
Good. Oh my God.
I'm going to have it with a little bit of prosciutto. See what that does.
It's really good just like this too, with just
Oh boy.
the Asiago, the tomatoes, the arugula, the red onion. Really good.
I love it. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.